instant gratification answer is no. Nobody's going to come to our aid. Nobody's going to rescue us. The long answer is a little more multi-layered. As always, it's purely speculative when I do segments like this. And if you want to weigh in, expand the conversation, or correct anything that I said, please, of course, feel free to do so in the comment section. To begin with, if the United States falls into fascism, then we will take other nations with us, particularly those nations that are already trending towards autocracy and or fascism. We will just have led the way again. In case the Allied forces come together thinking that maybe it's time to liberate the United States, they will quickly find out that we are a fortress, and chances are that they know that already. We have moats basically around us: the Pacific, the Atlantic, the Great Lakes region, and the Gulf of Mexico. Via the waterways, we are impenetrable. We may not have the largest navy, but we certainly have the most powerful one. The same goes for air defenses, not even talking about aggression, but just defending our own landmass. We outnumber everyone with hands on sticks, with those things that are piloted by humans, or those that are piloted remotely by humans flying drones. Not to mention the things that we can send flying through the air by the push of a button. We outnumber everybody. We are, again, impenetrable. Perhaps going through land, which means that Canada would have to agree, or Mexico would permit any force to traverse their lands to make it to the US border. For one, coming from the north, that's likely only possible in the summertime, and any large amount of troops will be seen with an advanced notice that allows the necessary answer to such advances. Of course, coming from the south means traversing the border there, which is shorter and much easier to defend with our military might. Now, in case anybody should really make it into the United States, they will find an incredibly large landmass that is topographically challenging for anyone in the military. And also the necessary number of troops that would be required to maintain a position in the United States is so vast that it is just basically impossible, because you're contending not just with the United States military, but also with millions of armed citizens. And even though those citizens might have objections towards one another at present, once they find a unifying cause to object to an enemy force, this might also change pretty quickly. Lastly, if all those things fail, the question becomes, does the United States actually have an Achilles heel? Does the US have a weakness? The only weakness there is the same weakness that the globe has experienced, the global economy and trade has experienced when the transport vessel ran aground in the Suez Canal, essentially bringing the world economy to a grinding halt. The United States has taken a long time to recover from that type of economic impact. So perhaps if the Allied forces came together rather than asserting their, comparatively insignificant military might, they may decide to put a stranglehold through sanctions upon the United States, which is a possibility because we import and export enough that we are certainly susceptible to pressures. However, this also would mean that we disregard that we have military bases in various countries around the world. Now, predominantly, these bases are there to establish global security, but also to represent U.S. interests. And if U.S. interests are endangered to the degree that the United States feels the stranglehold and the chokehold of perhaps trade associations and combination of allied powers that are working against us, it is not unthinkable that we spin those bases up to assert our forces, if you will, offshore. And all things considered, if nations want to bring it to us, we'll bring it to them first because we are already there. We have boots on the ground inside their borders. So, long story short here, no, nobody's going to come to our rescue. Nobody's going to risk it. We are on our own.